Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, today is Tuesday the 27th of October, and the big news in the drone world is that we're all finding out that the Mavic Mini 2 will be introduced on November 4th. Now, it's all exciting news, and of course all the channels have been in a big rush to put out videos with everything we know. But I just thought I'd take the opportunity to take the original Mini up for a flight. I'm at a park that's pretty close to my house. It's called Champion Park, and there's a street that runs along here that's got some pretty colorful trees on it. We're almost too late because we had a windstorm and it blew a lot of the leaves off, but we're going to take the little Mini up and get a look at those leaves and talk about what we're going to see on the new version of the Mini 2, that hopefully we'll see next week. A lot of exciting news. So the thing is, I don't want to get the original Mini for it to get lost in the shuffle, because it is an amazing little piece of technology. As much as the Mini 2 is going to be awesome, that doesn't take anything away from this guy. And like I said, if you watch my channel, you've seen that I fly this guy a lot and really enjoy it. You know, I've got faster drones, bigger drones, drones with better cameras, etc. But this little guy is so easy to take with you and easy to deploy, and very inconspicuous would be a good word for it. So anyway, you know, I'm in a public park here. You know, you're not going to draw any attention with a little drone like this. So in any case, let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, the little Mini is ready to go, and we're going to do a hand launch here. We're in 2.7K, 30 frames per second. I'm going to start recording now. Holding the Mini in my hand. Now I'm going to stand back so you can see this. The way I typically do it is I hold the Mini in my hand, I hold the controller in the crook of my elbow, and hold it up and away, and then hit the takeoff button, and it'll just simply take off out of your hand. Just like that. And we are in an altitude zone here. You saw that on the screen. Let me move the drone away here a little bit. Bring it down. Let's get it in front of the camera. You know, I always like to bring the drone in front of the camera here, so let's bring it in a little bit. And the little Mini, again, it is so stable. You know, it's just a pleasure to fly. So let's rock it back and forth here, and you got a chance to see that gimbal in action. And we're going to do just a short little manual droney here, because like I said, this is not a very big park, so I'm going to kind of angle it away here and reverse and up. And that's about it for that droney. There's a street back there, and I don't want to go over that. So what you're looking at here is I'm standing in the middle of the park, and this is not a very big park, but let's pick the camera up, and you can see the street that I was talking about that has all the colorful trees by it. So we're going to go out and see if we can take a look at some of those. Let's get some altitude and move forward. And like I said, we are in an altitude zone where we have to stay below 150 meters, and obviously that's above legal height anyway, so we are certainly going to do that. So the sharp-eyed among you will notice that there's no Durango. I usually have my Durango with me. The Durango is gone, replaced by this really nice Chevy Tahoe. So pretty stoked about that. I don't see anybody around. Let's see if we can get down, lower some altitude, and get a good close-up of that. And the cool thing about this drone is it's so precise, you can do things like this. You know, there's not a lot of drones that, well, I will say this. There are some other drones that I would not do this kind of maneuver with. So that's probably about as low as I want to go. But there it is, new Chevy Tahoe. That thing's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really going to enjoy that car. So let's move forward, take a little look at it, and more to come on that. I'll put together a whole video on that guy. But let's grab some altitude here again, and I want to take you out on the street and show you the colors of these trees. And there's no traffic right now, so I think we're good to go here. And let's move out over the top. And isn't that amazing, those red trees on one side and the kind of the more yellowish ones on the other. And there's a car there. Let's see which way he turns before we go out over the street. And he looks like he turned the other way, so we're good to go there. Let's move forward here. I see a leaf cleaner, a vacuum truck is moving along the other way, so we'll stay out of his way. But I definitely wanted to show you guys these trees because I just thought there was some good color. And this is the neighborhood. This is actually a subdivision that's kind of next door to where mine is. And that vacuum truck's moving along pretty quick. But I love these reddish trees, the reds, the greens, the yellows. I thought you guys might like this too. So let's turn around here a little bit. And like I said, the vacuum truck will be coming by, so we definitely want to stay out of his way. We'll stay over the top of these trees. There's a little grove of trees over here that I think we can get over and stay out of this guy's way. So I'm going to move over the top of these trees so we're not over the... So sorry about that quick yaw there. I should be in cinema mode, so this little grove of trees right here is pretty cool. Let's stop there for a second. Take a look at these guys. Now, the FAA does not prohibit you from flying over houses. As a general rule, I always try not to do it, just out of respect, and you know, I just think it's a prudent thing to do. We're getting a wind warning now. We're only supposed to have 9-mile-an-hour winds, so that can't be too crazy. And there again, this is the park. This will get you a good look at this park that I'm in here. So let's talk about the new Mini a little bit. It's bringing a lot of things to the table that I think interest many of us. And of course, first and foremost is 4K video. So we're going to try and stay across to the side of the street here, so that if somebody's coming down, we're not over the top of them. But 4K video is a big deal to a lot of folks, although I would also argue, look at the quality of this 2.7K of this guy, and I would argue that it's pretty darn good. And then I'm gonna put this thing in cinema mode, boys. So we're moving a little fast here. It's cinema mode just will make it a little more pleasant. So 4K video, although the 2.7K in my mind is pretty amazing in its own right, and not you know, nothing to shake a stick at. And then the other big, I think, kind of headline feature of the Mini 2 is going to be that it does have OcuSync 2.0. Now that is important, I think, to some folks, more important to some than others. For those of us that have the smart controller, we're pretty excited about it, because then we'll be able to use the smart controller with our Mavic Mini as well. So, you know, I've got that smart controller for the Mavic Air 2, and now I'll be able to use it with the Mini. Well, hopefully. I mean, they haven't actually said that yet, so I need to clarify that. But it is OcuSync 2, so I don't know why they wouldn't. So this is a major street. We're not going to get out over that, but I wanted you to see this row of trees here too. This looks, you know, we're really starting to get the fall colors here. So we're not going to go out over that street by any means, but let's turn back around and go back the other way. And so OcuSync 2.0 is going to give us the range, and particularly when you're shooting through trees. You know, I don't know about you guys, you know, OcuSync 2 there, or the Mini 2, I should say, from some of the details we've seen, that it may have a 10-kilometer range. Well, I have no intention of flying a drone like this 10 kilometers, but it's nice to know that you have the power to keep a good signal. So just looking here, you can see where they've been vacuuming up the leaves here, and you can see the vacuum truck. Maybe we can chase him on up there. And we're staying over the side here, over the trees, and you can see me in the middle of the park over there. So the other features, one that I'm not sure how I feel about yet is the Mavic Mini 2 will have lithium polymer Lipo batteries. And one of the things I liked about the Mini 1 was with lithium ion, you could leave your batteries charged and not worry about it. And obviously Lipo batteries, you cannot leave them charged. You want to have them in, put them in storage mode if you're not using them for a couple of days. And you know, it was really handy with the original Mini to be able to just leave the thing charged up, and then you had, you know, you were ready to go whenever you wanted to fly. Let's we got some trees off to the side here. Let's move sideways here. We're not going to go over these houses, but we'll go take a look at these trees right here. I think it has one more minute of flight time. I think 31 minutes as opposed to 30 minutes on the original Mini, which, you know, that's kind of a wash. But the other thing is the controller. It's going to have a similar controller to what is on the Mavic Air 2. Now, you know, you got some mixed emotions on that as well, because that is a bigger controller, right? So one of the advantages, and I have never been a fan of the old style DJI controller. The way you have to put your phone in it can be clumsy, and that's my biggest complaint about it. So I always liked, I do like the new style of controller, but it is bigger. And one of the advantages of the Mavic Mini is that it's so compact. But you know, we'll just have to wait till we see it. But I mean, I think we're kind of proving right now what an amazing little drone the Mavic Mini is, and the Mini 2 is just going to prove to be even more so. You know, this thing is so easy to deploy, and it's so inconspicuous. You know, I can be at a park like this and you just don't draw any attention at all. So yeah, kind of give you a look at what we're looking at here. So this is kind of one of the main drags. I'm in Meridian, Idaho. That's Ustick Road right now, looking towards Eagle Road. And Eagle Road is one of the busiest streets, I think, probably in Idaho, I would imagine. And you're looking towards Boise here. This is kind of almost on the Meridian-Boise line, and that is the Boise front behind us right there. Those mountains you're seeing in the distance there. Little shopping center there. Seems like there's shopping centers everywhere now, huh? So we'll just kind of do a slow yaw around. But you know, so much development. You know, this was all bare land just a few years ago, and now again, you know, we're full of houses. But what I will say is I applaud the city of Meridian, the way they put up these parks. You know, this is just a nice little neighborhood park here. It's called Champion Park. And man, you just see a lot of people use this park. So I think that's great for the city. So I guess the Mavic Mini 2, hopefully we'll see it on November 4th. I can tell you that I definitely will get a pre-order in, or get an order in just as soon as I can. Oh, I want to add that also, just like everybody else, I went into Best Buy today just to see if they had any. I went to the Boise Best Buy, and they didn't have one on the shelf. I also went to the service counter and asked them if I could pre-buy one, pre-order it, and then come in on the 4th and pick it up. And they said, no, you have to do that online. Well, obviously you and I know that it won't be available online for a while, so probably not until the 4th. And it'll be interesting to see DJI's release event. Is it just going to be an online event? I suspect it will be. There's been so much excitement built up about this drone, and I love it. I think it's really fun. So this again is that same street with all the with the trees. Let's see if we can stay. We're going to stay over the top of these trees and move forward down here a little bit. So I'm always intrigued by this little grove of trees right here. I walk by it all the time, and I don't know, there's probably 15 or 20 trees in this little grove, and I think it's just a green spot. That's not a backyard. That is a green spot that I'm quite sure that the subdivision put in there. Probably wasn't enough room for a house, so they made a little green area, but it's pretty cool. Pick up the camera so you can see the rest of these trees. Yaw back around. So anyway, everybody is going to be talking about the Mavic Mini 2 for the next week or so, and you know, it is going to be exciting, and I'm as excited about it as anybody. I guess I should also touch on the fact that we are going to have remote ID. We should see the final rule in very soon, and probably in December. They're saying that we'll know what the final rule is, and it kind of makes me think that that might be part of the reason that DJI is really pepping up the Mini and improving it, is because they might anticipate that there could be some issues with the okay, I'm going to stop right there till we see where this kid on the bicycle is going. Yeah, so he's stopped, so I don't want to go over the top of him, so well, there he goes. He's finally going the other way. So there's that new Chevy Tahoe, man. I'm telling you, if you can't tell, I'm digging that thing. Okay, let's bring the drone back to us and bring it in for a landing. So anyway, with regard to remote ID, the new Mini being under 249 grams is going to be an asset, because it falls underneath those rules, right? So you know, I'm looking up at the Mini and flying it into us, and whenever I do that, I always get the camera messed up. They talk about visual line of sight, but it always seems like you do a better job when you're actually looking at FPV, or at least I do. Okay, let's bring this guy around. We're going to bring him to the other side of the camera. That's your pilot doing a manual rotation. I'm not the best, but I can get it done. Okay, let's bring it in, and we're gonna do a hand catch. So let me get it in front of the camera here. So I always turn it around so that I'm facing the back of the drone. So yeah, let's bring it in a little. That should be good enough. I want to bring it up a little higher. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just hold my hand under the drone and hold that left stick down. And as soon as the drone recognizes your hand, it'll just land right there and just shut down. As you saw, it just instantly shut down. So you saw when I first took my hand in there, the drone went up a little bit, and that's those downward facing sensors recognizing something. But as I held the left stick down, it said, okay, put itself in landing mode, and down it comes. Okay, so let's shut off recording. Maybe. There we go. Touchscreen finally took the command. All right, so let me shut down the drone and we'll do our conclusion. Hey, okay, so we had a nice little flight looking at the foliage here just outside of Champion Park with the little Mavic Mini. And we got to talk about the Mavic Mini 2 that's coming out pretty quick on November 4th. So I've got the case here, and I kind of wanted to show that, you know, this Fly More combo, because I really like this case, and I realized that they had the problem with the propellers, and I've talked about my solution to that before. I use this little thing to retain them so that they don't get crushed in the case. But that's the only downside to this case. Well, I like being able to open up a case and see everything that's there. Now, we know that the Mavic Mini 2 is going to have a bag that's similar to the Mavic Air 2. And nothing wrong with that, other than the fact that one of the things I always talk about is, you know, I don't like digging into a bag looking for something. I like to be able to open it up and see everything that's in there. That's a small thing, but it's just something that I thought was worth mentioning. And you are going to have that bigger controller, so it is going to be a little bit bigger and bulkier. The beauty of this, as you can see, this is just a small little device, and when you have all 3 batteries charged on this guy, you got darn near 90 minutes of flying time. So I think that's really a good feature of the original Mini, and you know, possibly why I will hang on to the original Mini, even though I'm for sure going to get the Mini 2 as well. So in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at some of the colors around here today. We had some wind the other day that blew a lot of it away, but it's still looking pretty good. So yeah, Mavic Mini 2, man, it's really going to be fun. So that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really do appreciate you looking at this video. And no question, we'll see you on the next one. Mavic Mini and Mavic Mini 2. Awesome stuff. See you later.